Hey guys, so today it's a cold day. We just finished the Super Bowl, right? Well, I watched a little bit. I'm gonna make some albondigas. Basic ingredients. Well, basic, right? For me, went to a farmer's market. Got this giant bunch of cilantro for $1.50. I cramped it down a little because I had to wash it really well, and I like to strain it, so rinse it actually. And then celery hearts. Organic. Got red skin potatoes, organic. Even the eggs we're gonna use organic. Cabbage, same thing. Everything's organic basically. So a whole cabbage, I just cut it in half, rinsed it out, cleaned it, soaked it in water. So it's organic. Grass-fed beef, 80-20. Have you guys seen my other videos? I did vacuum seal a lot of 40 pounds of 80-20 and 40 pounds of 93-7. So there's one of the 2 to 3 pound containers, packages of the grass-fed beef. So you need celery, right? Cilantro, potatoes, egg, cabbage, organic rice, or whatever rice you want. Any type of breadcrumb. I like using Ritz. Why? It gives it a buttery flavor. You can use whatever you want. You can make your own breadcrumbs from organic bread. Dry sourdough. I don't like sourdough, so I use this. Or you can buy the Italian herb seasoning, but I don't like all the artificial stuff they keep adding to it. For seasoning, we're gonna make and use the rest of my beef rub or meat rub, right? Basic ingredients: half a container of the garlic salt with parsley, no MSG. Make sure it's McCormick, California style, or whatever style it's locally. They might change it to whatever state they're in. And a pack of menudo mix. Crush the menudo mix with your hand before, or in the packet before you mix it in together. You get this. Really good. So we're gonna mix that with the beef. So it looks. It almost looks like weed. No, I'm playing. Well, it's legal in California now, so I should start cooking with it. So, basic style for the meat. So, we're gonna move the veggies and herbs and all that stuff to the side. Here's the meat. Get a mixing bowl, a pan, whatever you use. Get it. Open it up. Correct. And then you do that first, and I'll put you guys back really quick. Hold on. So here's the pack of meat. Opened it up. Still a little bit of ice, but pliable. So we need to do that. Basic style. Basically, don't go egg crazy. Run some recipes say one egg, 2 eggs, 3 eggs. I've seen 6 eggs, depending on the portions, right? These are medium eggs, right? Yeah, medium organic eggs. I normally get jumbo. So I'm going to use probably 4 eggs. I normally use jumbos, and I use 2 to 3. So I'm going to do 4 eggs because it's not too much meat. So, 4 eggs of these. Oh, I'm not going to be able to do the hand thing. Oh, almost did it. Oh, almost did it. But you see my hand's a mess. So no pro there. Did I get some? No, I didn't. I thought I dropped half the shell, but I got it with my finger. How many eggs we had? 3. Here's number 4. There's 4 eggs. A little blood spot. Not a big deal, but there it is, gone. So, we got the eggs done. Now we mix it up with the seasoning. Seasoning. The seasoning, you can put as much or as little as you like. I like putting a lot more. Oops. Well, that's a little bit. when I make this, there's more spices than seasoning or salt. So I do it that way. Reason is you don't want to overpower it. Whatever you're cooking with salt, you can always add more salt than remove it. So you want a strong herby flavor, you do this. So basically that's it right there. You get this, you break it down, right? I like to just grab them out and start breaking them, but as you can see, only one hand right now at the moment. So, I think about half of it should be more than enough of this regular pack box. I'll show you the box I got it from, so you guys can estimate what half of these will be. But some people use flour. I don't like using flour for one reason. It tastes like a matzo ball. Like I'm just eating masa or dough or whatever you want to call it. And it doesn't feel right. Kilos! Get out of there! Okay, then put you guys down really quick and drop this in there. Okay, so I dropped in that half container. Don't worry if it's like coarse like that. You can smash it up if you want more. If there's like a half a cookie or cracker in me, break that down a little bit. Once you're like this, kilos, really, dude. So once you're like this, mix it up. There's still 2 more ingredients, or 3 or 4, depending what you want to do. You can chop up onions, really fine. Throw it in here. You can chop up cilantro, kind of long and stringy. You want that to help it to make and keep that bond of the meatballs, right? And rice. Rice is a must thing to put in the meatball. Some people don't. They say, oh no, you don't need to add rice. You just add it on top. Meatball, Albondigas soup normally has meatballs. Duh. Rice in the meatballs. So let me put in a little bit of rice in there. About half a cup of rice in there. Also, these are fillers meant to hold the dough together. You can make it pure meat as well with just the egg and pure meat. That should hold it and throw them in the oven, cook them, then make the broth and soup and then put it together. But doing it this way with the broth, you're cooking it with the water and making that into a broth, this beef gives the flavor to the broth. So you don't need to buy a broth already made unless you have some. I didn't buy none because I'm not going to use that method. I'm going to mix it up and throw it in there to cook it with in the water. So let me chop up some cilantro, get the onion, the rice, put it together, and I'll be right back. So I chopped up the cilantro kind of coarse, long strains. The reason is I want to make sure cilantro gets everywhere. Right? I can make it fine, really fine if you want it to. I like it to be a little bit longer because I want the vines to help out with the molding of the cilantro, of the meatballs. Okay, so there's the rice, the organic and golden star jasmine rice. I love this rice because it comes vacuum sealed, right? So once I open it, I have to use it, and it comes a little baggie, that Ziploc itself, to help preserve it a little bit longer. So let me get that cup out of this, throw it on the meat. Oh, let me throw the cilantro in there now. So cilantro on top. Normally you can add jalapenos right now if you like someone that eats spicy. Jalapenos in there. Like I added crushed peppers because of the seasoning I use has crushed peppers in it. The menudo mix has it. If you don't want to have crushed peppers, read the back of the menudo mix. Use those ingredients without the crushed peppers, and you got it. So let's do that and get the cup, and I'll be right back. Okay, so basic ingredients are ready. I already put the onion, the rice in there. It looks like more, but it's a cup. I rinsed it out. Yes, that's why it's shiny. I always rinse it out, even if this is organic. I rinse it out. So, and once it's rinsed out, you can start mixing up. And do this easily. Mix it up. Some people, you can tell here if you're going to need more breadcrumbs or more rice. You make the choice. How do you make the choice? If it's too sticky and it feels really wet when you're mixing up the ingredients together, you need more rice, or more likely more breadcrumbs. Mix this up really well. You want to make sure there's no egg visible, just the shine of it, of the egg whites. Also, some people actually make it egg whites only. You could do that if you want to, or egg yolks only. You could do that if you want to as well. Remember, there's about 2.5, almost 3 pounds of hamburger meat. I'm using 80-20. You're going to get a lot of fat. Well, not too much. I noticed when these, even if it says 80-20, you don't get that much fat from the Zycon Farm Fresh. Okay, how do you know if you have too much egg? Or do you need more? If it's looking like this, all of it, you need more. You can see how it glisters more than the rest. See how this one's more dry? Right? It's shinier. If it's really shiny like that and it feels sticky, you need to add more of your crackers or breadcrumbs. But right now I'm still not done mixing it. So once I'm mixing it all the way, you'll see the results. Also, you kind of can do this for burgers. Just don't add the filler. The filler means the bonding agent that we're going to use, which is the breadcrumbs. Yes, you can add eggs to the mix, and instead of all this cilantro, you can add a little bit of cilantro and add cheese in the middle once you form the patties, or in the meat itself. And just hopefully you're using a non-stick cooking, or throwing them in the oven. Actually, the best thing to do, throw them in the oven, and you get some cheesy, drooling over burgers made with tons of cheese. Kobe Jack, pepper jack, things like that. So you get a lot. So here how it looks. So I mix it with one hand. The other hand has a major cut, so I can't really use it too much. So it's healed already, almost, but it doesn't feel right. Plus my hand's kind of messed up from an internal bruise it has. So I can't really use it. I'm right-handed, I'm using my left-handed, so more. So that's kind of different. So why I use a pan to do this? You can mix a bowl as well if it's large enough. Separate your meat like this to the side. Once you do that, you can use many methods to make it, right? Any size meatball you want. Take in consideration people that eat the soups, that love meat a lot. If you make them huge, they're gonna take all the meatballs. If you make them medium, everybody gets a chance of eating some meatballs, right? Or if you make them tiny, like this is a medium one. The size of a golf ball is a medium one. I have made like jumbo ones because it was just me, and I will put one meatball or half a meatball per bowl. You can get the softball size meatballs. They still cook, just takes longer. And hopefully put enough enough eggs and breadcrumbs to put it to hold. Or you can go really tiny. I've seen people go tiny, like this size, which is like the beer pong ball size. But when you do these, make sure, if you're going to do them tiny, chop the cilantro even more, because you'll end up with this. Like this, it'll still work perfectly fine. Just some people don't like the herbs sticking out. I like it like this. Golf ball size. Blends in a little bit better. So let me make these into this size meatball, and let's see how many we get out. Okay guys, so I got 23 meatballs. I got 23 meatballs. So from different sizes, remember I'm using one hand. So I got some large ones, and then some small ones and mediums. They all basically cook about the same time. Yes, you can't say a small one cooks at the big time. The temperature, remember, it's boiling water. They're getting it with the same temperature all the way through. And plus, they're going to cook from basically at the temperature. Heat up internally and out. and you're going to pull them out at the same time, meaning you're going to cook it for at least 30 minutes, and that's more than enough to cook all this. So now we're done to this part, right? Now we're going to move to the cabbage and the veggies. So reason I cut it in half, one side a little bit smaller than the other. Reason, the small side I'm going to slice up all the way, extremely thin. I'm going to start the water to boil now. You can put as much broth as you want. I'm using about the half of a stock pot. About, you can say, almost 2 quarts of water. So you can put more or little. This is the cool thing about this recipe. If you want a little bit, you're going to get nothing but meatballs and some veggies. And if you don't want no veggies, just cook the meatballs, but throw some herbs in the mix or you're not going to get flavor. So I chop this really fine because I want this cabbage to dissolve and give it that flavor into the broth. I'm going to wash the potatoes right now and remove the bad parts. Slice it up, little chunkies. I don't remove the skin. I like the skin on, but these are all organic, so I'm going to wash them out really well and then chop them up. So I'll get you back once I get ready to throw in the meatballs. So I'm going to start boiling the water, okay? So I'm back. I chopped up the celery, cilantro. That's the half of the cabbage I said I was going to throw in there, so I want it to dissolve. I also want the cilantro and the celery to start going away and dissolve into the broth or minimize. Reason, I'm using a small pot to make base rice soup, so I want as much as possible to dissolve, but to stay in there with flavor. So let's get this in there. Oh crap, I'm gonna drop it. So I get you guys back a little bit once I put this in there. So I put everything in there for the soup. So this is going to be mostly our stock, right? Put that in there and boil up. Dissolve a lot of this. Becomes soluble. Easy to maneuver. So let me cover this up. And the cool thing about this, at this stage, you can add as much water as you want or as little. Don't add too much. Reason, the meatballs are going to make the water go up, right? You want this stock to get done right. So that goes in, put it on high, get it to boil, then reduce the heat to whatever you guys like, meaning to a simmer. Every single stove range is different. I bought this stove a long time ago. Whirlpool is supposed to be commercial grade. It has big burners, power burners, and I'm using a power burner. And plus I'm using the new pots I got myself for Christmas. So these are copper lined inside, internally between the sheets of metal. It's copper. There's even copper on the bottom. What they're called? Copper, not copper clad. Something copper. Forgot. I have a lot of those pots, but right now it's a tight space. I can't put them out. So I'll do that later. But let's get this to boil, simmer it, get back to you. We can add some salt. If you want a unique flavor, use soy sauce. Yes, in a Mexican dish, we use soy sauce. We use the choya Mexican dish, right? It's really good. Tastes way better than kikkoman. If you like kikkoman, I say try the choya sauce. It's available at Walmart and some other places, even Safeway and stuff. Try it. It's way better. Tastes better, and even they mention it. Where is it? Well, leave the sticker to be on there for a while. Oh no, that's not gonna work. So I'll see you guys in a bit. So I was raiding my refrigerator in the veggie area. Found 4 Mexican onions. So I'm gonna use these, throw them in the broth to get that flavor going. I don't want no veggies to go to waste. That's kind of my New Year's resolution, making sure less food is thrown away from my kitchen. Less food going bad. This right here, I still love using to like the ends of it, but there's no dish going on, so I might have to throw this away. It's scrap. A lot of people don't use it, but I love using that part because it gets the strongest flavor. So let's clean this up a little bit, and I'll see you guys in a little bit when the the stock is boiling. Oh yeah, I was going to show you a little while ago on the choya, right? It's preferred over kikkoman. See if I can get this to zoom in better. So preferred over kikkoman, like choya sauce, all-purpose seasoning. So it's really good. I'm going to throw this, instead of salt, I'm going to throw this on my broth that I'm making right now. Well, stock that I'm making right now. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Oh yeah, I'm going to slice up the potatoes right now. Or just 4 large potatoes. Just 4 large. So I chopped up the potatoes already. They're chopped. I did 3. 4 must be too much. So let's check the broth. It's not boiling yet. It's getting there. So this is basically how it should look. The cabbage really fine. More like noodles. I love eating cabbage soup. Cabbage stew. Cabbage is my favorite. What veggies? Steamed cabbage. Ooh, tacos. Meaning no lettuce, no tomatoes, or I mean doughs is sliced like lettuce wraps, but cabbage wraps. You just slightly steam it and get that out. So we want this to cook a little bit longer, so it's starting to steam up a little bit. The smell is incredible. So let's add some less choya sauce. I like adding it right now because we can always add more if needed. So 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. That's enough to give it some Asian flavor. So a lot of Mexican dishes use the choya as salt substitute and give it that unique flavor. They always say it's a secret ingredient. It's either la choya or Maggi. So those are the normal common ingredients to say it's a secret. It's just cooked differently, that's all. Also, I was going to throw in some red peppers and boil them, but that involves more dishes to use, so I'm not going to do that. See, red peppers. Some pasillas and Colorado peppers. You have to just unseed them. Seed them. Remember the seeds. Rinse them out really well. Let them soak. Then throw them in here. Let them boil. Get the juices out. Then blend them. Throw it in here. And the broth becomes rich chipotle flavor. Or be lazy like I'm going to be lazy today. I don't want this to be a green one. So I have a few tomatoes I can still use. I have 3 tomatoes, so I'm going to use 2 because I don't think I'm going to make that many sandwiches this week. So 2 big Roma tomatoes. Wash them up really well, slice them kind of thin, and give it some color. Or, if you want to even be lazier, paprika, chili powder, all those works. And there it goes. My hands are too wet to move the zoom. So, the boiling stopped. Right now, if I was vegan or vegetarian, this probably would have been a great soup. Add some carrots. Yes, I can add some carrots to this. What do you call tofu? Things like that. So get this broth going. Or stock, I don't know what it's called now. But it's in there. Also, if you don't want to chop so many veggies, just do the cabbage if you can, cilantro. Get that organic veggie melody that has all those other ingredients, corn and everything. That works perfect for this too. I was going to throw that in there too, but yeah, I leave the little ends on there. Oops. Sorry about that. The flash went out because I had the phone over the steam a little bit too long. iPhones get delicate, it looks like. So the flash was too hot to use. So that's how the soup is starting to look like. The broth already got color. Also, I did add another 2 more tablespoons of the choya. So that gives some other color. Darker color, plus the tomato gives it the hint of red. So those 2 tomatoes doing a lot of work. So that's how the soup looks right now. You want those potatoes. Yeah, that was the lid going after my bad leg, so I'll have to wash that right now. So, get this to boil a little bit longer. It's on the simmer. You can see the boiling right there. Have it on medium. Let's go a little bit higher. If the broth goes down and you need more, add more water. You're fine. The broth's gonna get stronger and stronger. Keep doing that. So, well, there's a point and limit to that. Probably if, like, you replace more than 50%, it's really strong. But then you add more water, it gets diluted. So don't exceed that. So let's chop up the other half of the cabbage and get that ready for when it's done. You can add the cabbage raw on top of the soup as a garnish, and this will as a dish. So I have to make sure these meatballs are good. Some of them got squished. I'm going to put the cabbage on top. So let this broth boil longer, and then we're ready to put in the meatballs. Okay guys, so the broth has been cooking, or stock has been cooking for about 30 minutes, 20 minutes, boiling hot. So that's how it looks now. A lot more broth. There's still a lot of veggies there. The potatoes are done. Everything's done. So the rest will dissolve once it cooks the meatballs. So let's cook the meatballs. Get the meatballs. Don't just throw them in there. Drop them in there slowly. You don't want them to fall apart or get stabbed in half with the potatoes or stuff in there. Remember I told you don't put too much stock or too much water, because you can always add more. Yes, you can. And also, you don't have to put all the meatballs in right now. Why? You can save some meatballs for later. Why I say later? Depending if you have people that just into eat the meat and no veggies, you could do that. Or do what I do sometimes. I actually smash a few of the meatballs in there on purpose. So that smashed meatballs gets the flavor of everything. And I have a little bit of meat and everything. So that's the meatball right there. It's okay if they're not covered up right now. Once it starts to boil, the weight of the meatballs are going to move the veggies down, further down. Don't move them too much because you don't want it to destroy them. So what do you want to do right now? Clean up the mess you made, the pot, the pan, whatever, except for the one you're cooking, and slice up the cabbage that you're going to use as a garnish. Okay, so see you guys in a bit. So after about 15 minutes, or 20 almost, of boiling, also put the lid on. If it boils and it starts to leak, lower it down, lower it down, lower it down. Keep lowering it down, down, down until you're on the lowest setting. Right now, lowest. Can't go any lower. Still simmering. Right now, you can add whatever seasoning you want. Regular salt, a little bit of regular salt. I added regular garlic salt with parsley. The same thing, McCormick one. So that's how it looks, already cooked. Meatballs are done, everything. So everything's done. I put a lot of veggies because I'm the one that eats a lot of veggies. So my bowl will be about 50%, 80% veggies and a little bit of meatballs, or one smashed up one. So mine will look like this. You see the cabbage that was there? You can't really find too much cabbage because it's kind of like a soup consistency. It's really baked down, cooked down. So see, there's some chunks there, but that's it. Then you can put it's taking a lot less space. Mostly the cabbage is in the broth. You can see the green. Even after the tomato, you can still see the green. So this is ready to be served. Let me serve up a plate really quick, and we'll see how it looks. So I served myself right now with no broth, with a little bit of broth. Took 2 meatballs and a half. The other one broke apart in pieces in there. So now I'm gonna get the broth. So I'm using a glass Pyrex container bowl because I like them to handle the heat. So here's how the broth looks. Tomorrow, if there's still some left, there'll be a layer of fat on top. You can string that out if you want, strain it out. Or just wait for it to turn into a regular fat float on top and just take it out in little chunks. So this is how my Albondigas soup looks like. Tons of veggies. Like I said, I'm the one that eats tons of veggies, so yes, I'm still putting some more cabbage on top of mine. Some people, this is enough. Overkill. Also, you can use radishes. Some people use radishes on top. So I'm going to eat this up, and hopefully you guys enjoyed making this dish. There's no specific way of making this dish. You can, from this style of cooking, multiple variations. So you can take all the veggies out, you can put more. You can even throw onions in there right now. You can throw noodles. I've seen people throw elbow noodles, little elbow one shaped, seashells, all that in there. I've even seen people stuff the long tube noodles with the meatballs inside and throw them in there. So basically like a meatball wonton, jumbo size though. So see you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. Cooking time, prep time, about 20-30 minutes prep time if you really take into consideration. But you can do it in 15 if you really don't rush too much and you just know what you're doing. Sorry about that. My friend called me when I was about to talk about the dish. So what I do when I make it, I add tahini. Some people add lemon powder or lime juice or lemon juice. I figured I'd just get tahini, add it for seasonings and soups. It's hella good, and not just on fruits. Tahini, you can find this in your local Mexican store, Latin store, or Walmart. Put it on the soup as much as you want. Changes the flavor completely. Mine is a little white because I added some sour cream. Some people add sour cream. Some people add mayonnaise. Yes, mayo. Try it on a little bit on the side. See if you like it. Different ways of eating it. Now, season to taste if you want to. It should be perfectly fine by now. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. See you guys later.